You already know what time it is. It's that official time. Where we take this worldwide. Let's go. Listen. So now it's time to turn it up. Surf the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the pancakes. It's a mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really couldn't devour him. And from that point, then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Powerslam show. Let's go! Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam show. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam show. Turn it up.
Episode 441, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Pancakes and Powerslams show. I am Dr. Chris Featherstone. Live and living color, getting funky like a monkey, if you will, baby. Yeah. Hey, man, listen, I'm excited about today. I'm excited about just another day in paradise. Super excited to be with y'all. I'm getting a video here that's quite funny. That's so funny. Super duper funny. Oh man, that's a Ken Anderson just sent me a video that was very, very funny. Super duper funny. That was super funny. All right, so how's the PNP Nation doing? So that was funny. I just had Ken Anderson on the Unscripted podcast. Just interviewed him, did a Q&A, and it was very fun. He just sent me a message, and it was very, very funny. Very, very funny. All right, so PNP Nation, how's everything going? How are you doing? Let's see here. Let's see how things are going. Special shout out to Nate. It was actually promoted on my Theology and Apologetics page, and I meant to plug it on my Pancakes and Powerslams page. So special shout out to Nate and CP for commenting on the other page. But we are here on Pancakes and Powerslams. We will talk about All Out at the end. There's a lot of stuff going on in the chat right now. That's fantastic. Thank you, Marissa. Chad's ready to rock. Turn it up, turn it up. Chad, Dr. C is in the house. Yes, indeed. So I guess it's hashtag Ask Dr. Chris, which feels great. Got an endorsement by Ken Anderson, which is great. Ken Anderson's the man. We have theology conversations a lot. We differ greatly in that, but we respectfully have very challenging conversations with each other. He asks me questions and stuff like that, and it's gotten heated a couple times, but we make up. So it's all good. So big shout out to Ken Anderson. All right, so let's see. James is asking, Chris, first off, thank you so much for showing my question early with Mr. Anderson. It means a lot. And my question is, what are your thoughts on Matt Hardy's scary fall? Hey, listen. I'll answer that in just a minute. What's up? What's up, Brian? Appreciate you, man. Okay, so it was crazy. It was crazy. It was not. It was just. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you something. Of course, I'm not a big fan with. I'll have a conversation with Britt Baker, although she's a dental doctor and I'm a psychology doctor. So she'll talk some dentistry to me and I'll talk some psychology to her. So that's how it's going to be, I guess. Cool. A PNP discount on therapy. That's funny. A PNP discount on therapy. Good question. Good question. Okay. So my what's on the board today? That's a weekly thing that we do now. It says pop or soda. Pop or soda. So some people call it pop, some people call it soda. So that's on the board today. All right. Okay, so let's go back to Matt Hardy's the Matt Hardy thing. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not a profanity guy at all. Don't like it. I used to use it a lot, and now I'm a very strong Christian, and I don't like profanity because I used to cuss like a sailor, and I don't like when Rebby Hardy does it. She does it quite often. Not a fan, but I will say this. I totally understand her sentiments based on her tweet when it comes to just that situation. And I will say this, I know Tony Khan said that the doctors cleared them and things like that, but man, I think that based on that bump, and regardless, I know here's the thing with Matt Hardy. He's a pro. He's tough. He's going to want to finish the match to want Sammy, to have Sammy Guevara look good, even in a loss. I get that. I totally understand that. But I do think that even if he wanted to continue the match, if he was concussed, I've written, in psychology, I learned about that stuff, and I actually wrote a big final project, one of my doing my coursework a few years back on CTE, and it's tough, man. It's one of those things that you just you just don't give the person who's concussed the right, the right away to make decisions on the fly like that. You gotta shut it down. I think it's irresponsible of AEW to continue a match with someone with such a sick bump like that. I mean, just straight up head to concrete. He kind of overcasted the table, who was, of course, was supposed to break the fall, and the table broke. But I mean, like half of them landed, straight on the concrete. So it was tough to look at, man. And I've heard different things as far as it wasn't as bad as it was, but regardless of, I mean, obviously it wasn't as bad to totally knock him out and make him, go to the hospital or something like that. But that's the thing a lot of times with concussions. It's very subtle and silent a lot. You could just be you could be bleeding, and you can be doing a lot of, I mean, it could be a lot of damage way after the fact. Like I've talked to wrestlers who have told me to this day, because of CTE, they're having really bad memory problems, and that was from chair shots and bumps from a dozen years ago, and so, and even more. And so there's very lasting, unfortunately, there's very lasting effects. Of course, the movie, Will Smith movie, it was a concussion, I believe it was. Very, very eye-opening, stuff right there. And just to see CTE, not only forgetfulness, hallucinations, just all types of psychological effects and mental illnesses and mental health issues because of CTE, and just the lasting effect of it, and just how your brain just it's nothing to be messed with. And Matt Hardy's been in the business for over 2 decades now, to actually closer to 3 decades, and it's just not a good thing, man, especially of his age, and just man, it's not good. And so yes, he was able to finish the match, but as a doctor in psychology, I will tell you that was not good. Not good. Shane is asking, what are your thoughts on Rey Mysterio finally getting involved in the feud with Rollins and Murphy? I do not like it. Maybe Rey Mysterio's mom, because Rey Mysterio's been in the feud. I did not like it. It should have been just Rey and Dominic. Why involve Rey's wife and daughter? I liked it, actually. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. I was a big fan. Yeah, I was a big fan of it. And I think that it kind of culminated just because, Dominic had the big lashing. Rey had, a big lashing. And Rey's wife and Rey's daughter, which Dominic's sister and mother, I think because it has such an effect on the Mysterio family as a whole, I think you just kind of bring them in, and I think the way that they did it was good. Using Murphy as the fall guy. First of all, Murphy main eventing a Raw. Obviously, there's a lot of stock in that. If you have Murphy main eventing a Raw, that's a huge spot for him. He deserves it. I likes it. He's great in the ring. And it's a good way to really keep him relevant. I don't think it's going to last for long, because him being away from Seth Rollins and kind of being his own heel and wanting to go back with Seth, that was weird. But at the same time, yeah. It was payback. It was payback for Dominic. And I think when you add those type of elements, it doesn't make things seem redundant, because it's really easy to make things redundant already, especially with the program that we see now. I mean, if I see another variation of the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza, I'm going to vomit. it's there's so much redundancy. You're causing so many variations. Now you got another element with Cedric Alexander turning heel, but we saw multiple variations of the Hurt Business with Cedric and Ricochet and Apollo, and just there's variations after variations of really the same thing. And so you gotta, if you're gonna keep doing that, you gotta add layers. You gotta add different layers to the angles. Otherwise, it's going to seem so redundant. It's just, and I think this here, because you've already had several matches with Rollins and Dominic, Rollins and Ray and Dominic versus Rollins and Murphy. You've had so many different variations of that only within the past month, and so you got to add something different to cause some intrigue. And I think it does a really good job of really progressing the story too. I was a big fan of it, and it was a feel good moment. I think that's one of the big things that are just missing nowadays in pro wrestling. I think feel good moments of like culminating feel good moments is really a missing link in pro wrestling, and I think that's one of the things that really causes that cliffhanger and the feel good moment. It really calls fans to enjoy the product, to really like pro wrestling and to really get into it. But that's been something that's been really overlooked recently. So I think that's one of the things that you got to keep doing. You got to add another element to it. And I think Raw did a really good job with that. So kudos to that. My thoughts on Cedric Alexander joining the Hurt Business. Any Raw question, every single Monday, immediately after Raw, Legion of Raw show with Road Warrior Animal on the Sports Kidder page, and also on my personal page. I shared as well from the Sports Kidder page. Go check it out. Every single segment we talk about on Raw, we dissect it, we talk about it. So go check out Legion of Raw. The short version of the short answer to your question is I liked it. I actually thought it was much better than I expected, because I was very hesitant about it. And I was having even conversations about it today. I was like, you know what? Cedric Alexander he changed and just a snap of a finger. He changed from having the perception of looking like a cruiserweight. As soon as he turned, he looked like a heavyweight. And so it's crazy how that works, but it worked, and I like it. It's a good way to use Cedric. I think ultimately it makes him look like a bigger babyface. And I think this is one of the things that would actually push Cedric further as a babyface, because when he was doing his U.S. title feud with AJ Styles, there was still something like super missing, like much missing. And I like Cedric. I've interviewed him on my show before. Nice guy. But there was just some intangibles missing. I really liked when he won the Cruiserweight Championship at Mania, the kickoff. I was actually there in New Orleans. But just as far as upper mid-card feuds, that feud just didn't work for me. And I think if he makes a turn eventually again, I think this here shows just the layers of his character. Now, I'm not a big fan of just constant babyface and heel turns. I think someone should really, before they make turns, they should be known as a particular babyface or heel. Like, so when Flair turned, it was okay because Flair is known as a heel, you know what I mean? And they made his run as a babyface even more supportive, because so many people love to hate him so much. And now he's one of us. He's a good guy. You know what I mean? So the support made more sense that way. Same thing with Piper. But if someone just keeps flip-flopping his face and heels, and you don't know, you can't really define their career as being a face or a heel, it really messes up the character overall. Like Austin, he's been facing heel, but he's known as the anti-hero, anti-establishment babyface. Same thing with Rock. He's been babyface and heel before, but Rock is known as a heel. Same thing with The Undertaker. He's been face and heel, known as a heel. Flair. I'm sorry. Rock is known as a babyface. Undertaker known as a babyface. Ric Flair, heel. DiBiase, heel. Piper, heel. Rude, heel. Like they've established themselves as characters, and that really caused the legacy of that really further enhanced the legacy of their character. When someone just keeps flip-flopping, someone like the Big Show, you really can't define his character as a babyface or as a heel. Same thing with Jericho. Jericho's one of my top 5 of all time. You really can't define his character. You really can't define Chris Jericho. Like Chris Jericho is a face or is a heel because he flip-flops so much with turning. Now Randy's known more as a heel, but he's kind of flip-flopped too much too. And that's really a trait that's really missing a lot within pro wrestling over the past, I would say, probably decade and a half at least, probably even longer than that. But I think it's one of those things with Cedric. You know, he's known as a babyface. He's having a heel run now. I think this should also this should ultimately lead back to him becoming a babyface because that's what he's known as. But I think that this really adds to it and adds another much important layer to his character. Actually pushes him up to the potentially pushes him up to upper mid card scene. What do you think about Heyman turning heel? I think you mean Reigns and having Paul Heyman talking for him. I think that's what you meant. Do you love the idea of Uso versus Reigns for the Battle Clash of Champions? Good question. Yes, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. And again, this is Roman Reigns is known as a babyface. So I think this adds to his character. I think that this adds a much more layer to his character. I think at the end of the day, this makes him an even bigger babyface in the long run because, you know, he was tired of feeling this way, doing this. And now that's kind of saying like, well, you know, finally the heel runs here. I don't think it's too late. I'm fine with it. I think with Heyman, he's not doing a lot of talking. Heyman's doing the talking for him. Heyman knows how to make a person look like $1 million. And that's what he's doing with Reigns. Reigns didn't need Heyman, and that's what makes it even better. Reigns don't need Heyman. You know, he's proved over the past 6 years that he doesn't need Paul Heyman. But the fact that he has Paul Heyman, it's a bonus. And so I think it's great. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of it. It's going to be tough for me to dislike Roman Reigns because he's a heel. So I think I'm just going to keep liking him because I'm a Roman Reigns guy. I'm a Roman Reigns fan, I guess you could say. But, you know, there's going to be times that I want him to lose. Like I would want him to lose against Big E. I would want him to lose, you know, I'm going to want him to lose. And that's good. That's how it's supposed to be. So I think at the end of the day, it leads him to be a bigger babyface in the long run, which is good. And that's the thing. And again, if you're known as a babyface, a heel turn eventually makes you a stronger babyface at the end. If you're known as a heel, a babyface turn eventually leads you to be a stronger heel. You know, I mean, look at Flair. Flair, you know, perfect example. Flair's a heel. You know, when the Horsemen turned babyface in 90. Sting joined the Horsemen 89, going into 90. Sting joined the Horsemen, gets beat up, and Clash of Champions. You know what I mean? And of course, that sets up to Great American Bash. And so, Horsemen are heels, had a babyface run to lead to them being stronger heels and getting more heat and to make Sting the guy, you know, getting Sting over. Luger was kind of like the filler guy because Sting got injured. Luger was in there, even made Luger look good as a babyface because the Horseman was so adamantly just evil. They were menacing heels. The babyface turn made them look like a stronger heel. Eventually down the line, it made them look a better heel. So that's how characters work. You know what I mean? And I think that's how it should be. And with Roman Reigns, I see this, leading to him being a stronger babyface in the long run. As far as Uso versus Reigns at Clash of Champions, absolutely love it. I absolutely love it because at the end of the day, here's the thing. This is what you want. You want Roman Reigns to absolutely annihilate Jey Uso. And that makes him a stronger heel. And there's family ties to it. This is a making for a longer story, which is great. That's how wrestling should be. It's supposed to suspend a disbelief. It's a comic book come to life. The plot is supposed to thicken. You're not supposed to crash and burn all the time and do super kicks all the time. We're supposed to see plots and pro wrestling because it's a comic book come to life. And I think Jey Uso being utilized in this role, first of all, it gives him a great spot because he's a tag team wrestler. His brother's injured. And so a lot of times with tag teams, as we see with, unfortunately with AOP, one's gone and then both is gone. Really. I mean, that's what happened before, when one of the Usos were injured and one of the Usos were injured and then the DUI stuff. And typically when one was gone, they both were gone. And so, they brought in Jay, when they kept Jay around. He was doing some stuff on SmackDown, hosting and doing all that stuff. But they kept him around, and that's good. And it just makes so much sense, just storyline wise, building into and I love the foresight. And that's another thing that WWE especially has been lacking a lot, is just booking stuff ahead and having us kind of go through that journey with the creative team. We're supposed to go through the journey with you. And not just all the crash and burn stuff. It just doesn't cause me to it doesn't suck me in. It doesn't draw me to keep going and being involved and engaged in the storyline. This does, because this has such, their family. It makes perfect sense for him to go against Reigns, even if there's no chance of him winning. Jey Uso is so good in the ring that there will be there could be times where he has false finishes or there'll be a time where he's almost going to win, and so they could do that, but I don't think they should though. I think that Roman Reigns should absolutely annihilate Jey Uso. Because why? Because first of all, he's family, so you think that he would cut him a break a little bit. But at the same time, it makes him, because he's a heel, he won't. Not only will he not come a break, he'll just decimate him. You know what I mean? And so I think this really leads to some good stuff. Clash of Champions is a September pay-per-view. It's a minor pay-per-view. Although I like Clash of Champions, I love the idea of every title on the line. But it's not a major pay-per-view. The next major pay-per-view is Survivor Series. That's, 2.5 months away. So you want to have, kind of everything be pieced together to make Roman Reigns look like a stronger heel, to eventually give that heat and pass it on to someone else, which essentially should be Big E. So yeah, I like it. I think it really pieces puzzles. I think it's a really good way to really set up Roman Reigns as a stronger heel, which he should be. He should be a stronger heel. I haven't seen the match yet. I did hear that Finn Balor won, and I knew that was my prediction. I didn't think they were going to put it on Cole with the rumors of him possibly leaving and all that stuff. I didn't see that. Especially he just lost it, and so I didn't think they were going to. I didn't think they were going to have him win. So I haven't watched NXT yet. With the cage match, I believe, was Rhea Ripley against Mercedes Martinez. So I haven't seen it. Haven't seen that yet. I will watch it most likely tomorrow or today. It's actually after midnight now here in Eastern. Let's see. No, I'm not going to DM you the Rock's agent's number. Absolutely not. I am a professional journalist, man. I can't do that. Mo's asking, what are they doing with Raw and SmackDown tag team fighting each other? Or are they trying to unify the title or something? Now they could, they want to do the brand, brand to brand thing, and that's how they promoted it, was the brand to brand thing. I don't think they should unify it because, again, I'm a big fan of the split. I think the more you get closer to ending the split, the more opportunities are just lost, and talent is just buried, and just you just don't see them. Like right now, the Lacey Evans, the Dana Brooks, the Carmellas, if they're unseen right now on a whole different SmackDown brand, just imagine them when there's some type of split. Same thing with a lot of other names right now as far as the male roster is concerned. The Mojo Rawleys, I'm probably missing a bunch because I'm forgetting who they are. They released a lot of people. Let me look at the Raw roster real quick and see. Let's do like SmackDown. See, the only thing is the tag team division is pretty thin altogether. But let me see. I'm gonna look at the roster here. Let's see some underutilized people. Ziggler's in and out. Humberto Carrillo, that's one. Like, barely ever see him anymore. And if you see him, he's, jobbing out to somebody. Same thing with the Mustafa Ali. In and out, and just, they bring him in, they take him out, they bring him in, they take him out. I ain't got nothing to do with you. Highly underutilized. Titus O'Neil, of course, he had the nerve to put him on Raw Underground. And so on SmackDown, Bo Dallas is still contracted. and maybe Bo's a member of Retribution. Maybe. Elias is he's injured, but they weren't utilizing him good. Dagon Gulak, he's underutilized. Grand Metalik, they brought up Lucha House Party, in the tag team scene, and then now, they're not doing much. So, yeah, there's a lot, man, that's not very utilized. Shorty G every now and then. Looks like Cutler and Blake. I know that Jackson Riker, he's almost blacklisted because of BLM comments. But yeah, so there's enough to still have two championships. I forgot Bo Dallas was still contracted with the WWE. That's crazy. They kept Bo, but they got rid of Axel. Very interesting. So yeah, I don't think it should be unified. I don't think so. All right. Yes, indeed, Ricky. Big Show had more turns than NASCAR. Absolutely. No, because the tag team titles would be Cedric and Shelton, and I'm okay with that. You have 4 people in the Hurt Business now. I would have, of course, you have Lashley now as U.S. champion, and have Cedric. And the only thing is, I really like the Street Profits as tag team champs, man. I really do. I think they should have a very lengthy title reign. It's been 6 months now, a little over 6 months. So I think they should have like a lengthy title reign, like at least for another. I would say at least until the Rumble, and then lose it to get it back at Mania. So if they're gonna have them lose it, or what they could do, if they lose it, I would say Survivor Series, and that would give about a little over 4 months before Mania. So I think what you do is you have them lose it to the Hurt Business, to Shelton and Cedric at Survivor Series, which is about 2.5 months away. So I think you build that feud, have the Street Profits lose it then, and I think you get it back, have them get it back at WrestleMania. That should be that should be a big moment for them at WrestleMania, because they didn't have an opportunity to have a really big moment at WrestleMania this year. It was a makeshift tag team. It was Andrade and Austin Theory. So I didn't think they didn't have a really good opportunity to have a feel good moment this year. Have I spoke to Mr. Kennedy more than once? Yes. Ken Anderson is one of my most interviewed wrestlers ever. I've interviewed Ken Anderson probably, it's been about 7 or 8 times since I've interviewed Ken Anderson. I've interviewed him a whole lot. Lots of great interaction with the PNP Nation. Hey, so let me tell you something real quick before I start answering questions more. Great interaction here, guys. Fantastic interaction. Okay, so here's the thing. I've been doing a lot of thinking. Okay, I love the interaction right now. There's a lot of people. PNP Nation is absolutely lit. I've got to get some more support, man. I just do. I'm coordinating a whole department, as of next week. Just building it up from scratch for my job as, a doctor in psychology. I'm just building a new department. That's my day-to-day job. And then I'm a podcaster, for Sports Keto on Mondays with the Legion of Raw, on Tuesdays with Unscripted. So I'm super busy putting interviews together, putting my shows together as well. Then I got another project coming up that I'm, doing some things, and I'm still a student. I actually went back to school. I actually went back and started taking classes to have another degree in criminal justice with a specialization in behavioral sciences. So I'm still a student. So I'm a doctor and a student as well. And I'm about to get another project, another position. So I am a super busy dude. I love PNP. I've been doing it for 8.5 years. But look, I mean, if there's two tiers. There's literally a $1 tier, and there's a $5.99 tier, guys. So I mean, here's my thing, man. If I've considered shutting it down, if I don't get enough support to keep this going, because I literally do PNP because I love interacting with you all. I love chatting with you all. I love the Ask Chris questions. I love just having a really good time with the PNP Nation. But at the end of the day, man, my well-being is most important. So I'm really not asking for much. It's literally $1. Like there's $1 and there's $5.99. $5.99 gets you perks. It gets you t-shirts, more than one t-shirt, and it gives you the opportunity to co-host the show. And you would have hashtag ask you questions. So you would be the person that would ask questions to on the show. You literally, like, it's literally $6 a month, a little under $6 a month. So support, guys. Patreon.com, Pancakes and Powerslams. Your support by being a patron will really show me how much you just really enjoy supporting this. My time is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. My schedule's super, super packed. I love PNP. I like streaks. You know, I've had this show on for 441 straight weeks. I kid you not. I've not missed a single week of PNP. I've missed some shows. My dude Evan Tech Proud, he's co-hosted. I've had some other people, some colleagues that are really highly esteemed journalists, co-hosts. I've had some good friends who were co-hosts before. In the past 441 episodes, I've missed probably five or six out of 441. That's because I had major back surgery in 2008. I missed two weeks. I had my second child, my middle child, my second son. And I was out because, we were having a baby. My second of three children was on the Monday or Tuesday night. So I took that day off, and I had major back surgery in 2013. And I took maybe one out of this 8.5 years. I took probably 1 or 2 days off just to relax, and I think literally only 1 or 2 weeks off out of 8.5 years to relax. So that really goes to show how much I do it for you. As I say, I mean it. I mean what I say. So patreon.com/pancakes and powerslams. I know you guys have a good time. I get thousands of listeners every single week. And so it's literally $1 a month. It's literally $5.99 a month. And so your support will really keep me going. So I really gotta, buckle down and kind of turn a little bit more, turn the grip a little bit more as far as soliciting your support to really continue to keep PNP rolling. So thank you in advance. All right. What else we got? Yes, my streak is longer than Taker's streak. Absolutely. Back surgery. Absolutely. Yeah. So I see a lot of interaction. So let's as a matter of fact, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a shout out. So go here. I'm gonna give you a shout out as soon as take a break on Ask Chris questions. Here's the link. I'm super serious about this. Like, I'm soliciting your support here. So there's the link there. For any alert that I see of people who subscribe, I will give you a shout out right now on the spot. So for any alert that I get of people who become a patron, I will give you a live shout out right now. Absolutely. So, all right. So that is that. Lots of questions to address. Bailey beat down on Sasha. Where do you see the feud going? I liked it. It was good. I knew that Sasha was going to be the face. It definitely seemed like Sasha was going to be the face. I think it was good because it gives Sasha some time to sit out and just kind of yeah. I mean, I think it gives Sasha an opportunity to sit out for a while. I would bring her back probably in October to lead to a match at Survivor Series between the two. Some people saying bring her back and have her win the Rumble. I wouldn't want Bayley to keep the title for that long. You're essentially having her keep the title until Mania of next year, and she's already have it. She already has it for almost a year right now. So, yeah. I mean, I like long title reigns, but I don't know if Bailey's title reign would be as heelish or be as dynamic with Sasha now being away from her now. I think Sasha really helped her reign. So I would do it at Survivor Series. Big Show turned like 50 times. Somebody should count that for me and let me know how many times Big Show turned. I know there's articles about how many times Big Show turned. So yeah. All right, we're gonna get to AEW All Out. Let's see. Let's see. Releasing ALP. What I think about releasing ALP? I don't like it. I think it's a bad idea. It just makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely zero sense that they would release AOP if one of them is the one injured. And so I don't understand that. They both were disciples of Seth Rollins. Just because one of them's gone and injured, you don't take the other one off TV. You keep him as a disciple of Seth Rollins. That's actually a good spot to have him, until the other person's recovering from injury, as being like a muscle. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. But me as a journalist, I'm thinking, as soon as I see that, I'm like, man, I definitely see them being somewhere easily as soon as the no compete's over, which is still independent contractors, no compete clause. You can't be on TV for 90 days as an independent contractor. Okay, very weird. But I'm like, okay, my journalist, my inner journalist, does this and like, ooh, it seems like a nice interview to interview AOP. All right, what else do we have? Lots of stuff. Okay, Robbie's asking Dr. Chris. Here's a head scratcher on topic of heels and baby faces. Throughout wrestling history, who do you think that was the heel was the worst at selling the audience that they are heels? Who was the worst at selling people that they were a baby face? Okay, yeah. So if I understand your question correctly, a heel who's an established heel who's a bad baby face, and a baby face who's an established baby face who's a bad heel. I will say Sting. Sting is the GOAT. He's my favorite he's my all-time favorite. He was a bad heel. Especially in WCW when he turned, he was only a heel for a few weeks because he was such a bad heel. He's such a good babyface that him turning was just, there's my boo-boo moment. I'm sorry, my boo-boo moment of the week. Oh, it sucks to do this, but Sting's heel turn was boo boo. I'm sorry. It sucks to do that, but he gets Sting's heel turn gets the boo boo moment of the week. But it was bad. It was bad. TNA heel Sting. It was better, but I still main event Mafia Sting wasn't too bad. But Sting's a baby face, man. He's a baby face. Like I said, main event Mafia wasn't too bad, but you know, I didn't like heel Sting, and other than main event Mafia, just temporarily, I didn't like heel Sting and TNA either. So yeah, he's such a good baby face that it just for some it just don't work. It just does not work. As far as the heel not being a good baby face, Orton doesn't like being a baby face, but I think he's a good baby face at times. Sometimes it seems like Orton is kind of going through the motions as a baby face. I do pick up that sometimes. So but I would say that there's some times where he's doing the thump, the pound on the mat, and the fans are getting really excited about it. And so, yeah, I mean, but I wouldn't put Orton as as a bad baby face because he's had some good baby face moments. They made Rude a baby face temporarily in ECW. I remember they did that as a commentator. That was not good. They had they had a few people become like baby faces out of spite temporarily, and it wasn't very good. I'm trying to figure out if DiBiase's ever been. I know he's had like his legend when he came back as a legend. I think Honky Tonk Man was. They tried to turn him for a second, but that was toward the latter part of his career. It didn't work out too well. I know that when he was, with Rockabilly and all that, and, Billy Gunn, kind of turned on him. So yeah, I mean, there's that, there's those names. Flair was a good baby face. Piper was a good baby face. So yeah, I guess that would be my answer in a nutshell. Let's see what else we got. Good stuff. Retribution promo. I just check out my thoughts, and extensively check out my thoughts on that on the Raw review. Ricky Pates. Shout out to Ricky Pates. Ricky Pates is a new patron. So guess what, Ricky? Because you are a new patron, I just got the alert. You are a patron now. You get some love. So big shout out to Ricky Pates, who was now a patron. So good stuff. All right. More success for Billy Kay or Peyton Royce in singles competition. Clearly Peyton Royce, because it's clear that's what they're leading to. So, let's see. I like Billy Kay actually. But it definitely seems Peyton Royce has the Vince McMahon look for sure. Absolutely for sure. Finn, yeah, I haven't seen Finn winning it yet, but finally winning the NXT Championship. I mean, he's had it before, but I guess finally as his new NXT run, Yeah, I mean it makes sense of them doing that. I still don't know what Finn Balor is though. I mean, like I liked his run as a heel. I think it was good. I think it was a good way to turn him. But now it seems like he's a babyface again. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I think he should have stayed heel. Oh, it's weird. Interview Hardcore Holly or Chavo Guerrero. Almost came close to interviewing Chavo Guerrero. I've actually talked to Hardcore Holly in person in Orlando a few years back. Nice guy. Chavo Guerrero, I've had multiple conversations with him via email. But I have not interviewed either one of them. Let's see. Sweet Stan Lane. I've often wondered if it was money, then split him up from Steve Keirn and made him go to the NWA and tag with Beautiful Bobby. No, I have not. But I believe I'm Facebook friends with Stan Lane, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe his wife. Yeah. His wife, I believe. So I'll find out. Stan Lane was like, he was Super Kick before Super Kick was cool, man. So him and Chris Adams. So yeah. So I'll see about that, Shane. I will see about that and find out. So yeah, the Fabulous Ones was one of many Stan Lane. Well, one of many Stan Lane teams, specifically the Fabulous Ones in the Midnight Express that Stan Lane was known for. Let's see. There's a lot of questions. We'll just take the next few minutes doing the questions, and we'll talk about AEW. You guys are. I'm gonna have to delete this comment. It's PG. Good stuff, y'all. What I think about the Mimosa Mayhem match, we'll get to that. Trying to look for the Axe Chris questions, Axe Dr. Chris questions, because that is what is really, that's what stands out. Because there's a lot of interaction going on here. All right, let's see. Any more patrons? Click that link. Let's get at least two more this week. Let's get at least two more patrons. Yeah. For all the people who come here every week, and there's a lot of people still live right now with me. Let's get a couple more patrons, y'all. Let's they'll let me do a campaign. It's been a whole hour and a half getting some patrons, because I kid you not, guys. It's kind of like you don't know what you got till it's gone type of thing. Like it's my schedule's getting super busy, y'all. So the patrons will show me that not only do you support it, you support it. You put your money where your mouth is as far as the support for the show. www. Right, MJF campaign, yeah. And Mo can say that because he's a top tier patron and he has received a T-shirt. Mo has his T-shirt. Mo, have you wore your PNP T-shirt yet? And you got your other one coming. Like I said, because of COVID, my designer it's been crazy, but you got your other one coming soon. Chad wants me to be president of the United States. I've actually considered that. No lie. No lie. I've actually considered that. I've actually considered being president. Lewis is asking, what's my favorite WWE pay-per-view? I got to go WrestleMania, man. I got to go WrestleMania. I just, I love the thrill. Yeah, I just do. I love WrestleMania. That's what every single promotion. Matter of fact, I got my WrestleMania 33 on when I was in Orlando. Let me see. WrestleMania 33. So yeah, I was here, so I was in Orlando at WrestleMania 33. So just me as a journalist, it's like the mega convention for journalists. Like I've been to 33, 34, and 35, and I was going to 36, but old Rona. But planning to go to 37. So yeah, I've been 34, 33, 34, 35, 3 straight years of WrestleMania, and just the whole week. I'm there from Thursday and I leave Monday morning. Absolutely exhilarating. Absolutely exhilarating. It was absolutely amazing. It was fantastic. It was a journalist's dream. It was great. Every year I enjoy it. It's a thrill. It's like it's a thrill just going every week. I mean, every year. I know it's super duper busy. I mean, like super busy. But at the same time, it's absolutely fantastic, and I really enjoy it. Last year, or just every year, Thursday, I usually get in. Last year was a bit different because the previous years in Orlando and New Orleans, there wasn't a Friday Night SmackDown. So Thursdays, I would actually go to like an indie show, and Thursdays was a little bit more lax as far as like not hitting the big stuff. I think it was Orlando. I did some coverage at Access. I did like a Facebook Live from Access. So I did little. That was little. It was a compilation of events that I would go live on Thursday, but it wasn't like heavy hitting stuff. But last year, Friday Night SmackDown was there. So Thursday, I went right out the gate, hitting the where did I go to? Yeah. So October of last year was when Friday Night SmackDown. I was supposed to go to I was supposed to hit up the Hall of Fame this year, I think it was. And I had some red carpet access. So yeah, I was going right into like straight in, going to the Hall of Fame red carpet. That was the plan for this year, but Rowan messed up my experience. One of my bucket list things as a journalist is to do red carpet at WrestleMania. We were getting that in the books, and Rona messed it up. Then you go and you mess it up. Do I like Access, Takeover, Hall of Fame, and Raw? I've been to all of them. So Access was cool. It was a cool experience. I actually have. Let me get these real quick. Actually, let me actually have my media badges. Look at this. There's my media passes that I have. Access. MLW. This was from last year, just last year. Supercard of Honor. A media pass. So it was great. I had media for Access. This is PNP. I had media for Impact. So yeah, fun stuff. It's in my wall of accomplishments. My master's degree is up there. There's some degrees that are still filed in my cabinet, I think. Yeah, there's some degrees in there too. I'm gonna super hang my PhD when I get it mailed to me. I'm gonna hang it probably. I don't know yet because I have right here next to me is a wall, and I have a Ohio State flag right here. You don't see it, but actually, I think you guys see inside. Look, there you go, Ohio State flag right there. So inside look at Dr. Chris's office. So you get the Ohio State flag, the inside look. So there you go. And so yeah, I think so. So the media passes are like, I've wall here and then wall in front of me too with my computer center, and so my master's degree and then my ribbon, kind of like a the oh gosh, what is it called? It's the so you have the robe and then the shawl, kind of like the shawl thing. It's up there. Big Chicago Bulls fan, so I have a hat there. And then so when I get my PhD, I think I'm gonna hang it probably above my master's degree. I think that's probably what I'll do. Or next to it, maybe. I don't know, somewhere up there. But yeah, fun stuff. The thing, Quentin, I love New Japan, but I've been so busy, dude. I've been so busy that I literally have the network. I mean, I pay the network. I pay monthly for New Japan World, and I don't even watch it. So I need to watch it because I pay for it every month. So let's see. Oh yeah. So I've been all the Access was fun. Takeover was fun. Every time I go to the Takeover is super fun. Hall of Fame, I went for 2 years. I didn't go last year because I went to MSG. So, I mean, that was an experience. There's no way in the world that I wasn't going to go to MSG and in exchange for. Actually, I didn't go to the Hall of Fame because of Supercard of Honor. I mean, just talk about a dream. I got into MSG for free, ladies and gentlemen, and did media at Supercard of Honor. Like, are you kidding? That's a dream, as a pro wrestling fan and as a journalist. And so it was great. Last year was really, really cool. I hated New York. I didn't hate it. I strongly disliked New York just because I just wasn't a fan of the traffic. Like, bad traffic to me is an automatic turn off. The parking was horrible. The traffic was horrible. And it just frustrates me. Chicago has bad traffic too, but at least their parking isn't terrible. But it's so hard to park in New York City. The Airbnb that I had actually was my first Airbnb experience, and that was actually very positive. And all of my Airbnb experiences have been positive. So that was a good thing. The food was good. So I usually critique a city that I go to by their food and their travel. So, and the stay wherever I stay, the hotel or Airbnb. So Chicago's traffic's terrible, but their food is good. I mean, Chicago's food is good. So I would go to Chicago again because my love for their food trumps my disdain for their travel. Atlanta's traffic is decent. Food is good. I've heard some better experiences about food, but I've had some good experiences on Atlanta. I just didn't like Atlanta as much as people hype it up to be. So I'm willing to go again, but just wasn't the biggest fan for me. New York, just traffic is just abysmal. Yeah, so I've been to Raw. I've been to Raw. I haven't missed the live Monday Night Raw here in Columbus. I live in suburban Columbus now, but here in Columbus, I haven't missed a live Monday Night Raw in over 20 years. So, all right. Interview with Kelly Kelly. I think you want me to interview Kelly Kelly so you can just look at her. But I would love to interview Kelly Kelly though. Let's see. How do I feel about my Buckeyes name playing football? See, Chad. I've said this before on my show. I am like wrestling's right here. College football is like right here. Like I love college football. I mean, I absolutely love college football. It was an absolute heartbreak to find out that news that Buckeye football is a no-go for this year. Absolutely hurt me. Wow. So you weren't just there as a fan. Do you get ever starstruck as interviewing wrestlers? Yeah. I mean, when I go places, I don't go to WrestleMania as a fan. I don't pay for it. Like if I get paid to go there. So, I get in all these places for free. So, I mean, like I've been, WrestleMania Access, Impact, all these places I go to for free. I do media and I interview people. Starstruck? No, I don't think I ever got starstruck by interviewing a wrestler. Now, I kind of marked out and got excited about interviewing a wrestler on my show. Like I've interviewed Ricky Steamboat, who's in my top 3 favorite of all time. It was great to be a part of a Q&A session with Sting in Orlando a few years back at 33. That was fantastic. I haven't interviewed Sting one-on-one yet. That's still a goal of mine. I may get starstruck. I mean, I've been a journalist for nearly a decade now. I've been a podcaster for 8.5 years, and so I've interviewed hundreds of people. I'm so used to it now, and I love it. I still love interviewing people. I absolutely love it. And so, I'm still a mark in that sense as far as interviewing people. And I love wrestling. I still absolutely love wrestling. I heavily criticize it because there's a lot to criticize, but I'm a lifer. And so, I'm watching. And so I love it's still surreal. It's absolutely, still absolutely surreal getting an opportunity to actually text people. Like I can actually text wrestlers that I grew up watching and some of my favorite wrestlers. I can text Ricky Steamboat right now. You know what I mean? Like, and him respond. I've done that. Like I'll have a question to Ricky Steamboat and I'll text him like, did you ever I was having a conversation with some friends and we were talking about, Ricky Steamboat never turned heel. And I was like, I'll just text him, man. Hey, have you ever turned heel? He's like, no, I don't think so. Text me back. And I'm like, oh, sweet. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely incredible, crazy to be able to text Ricky Steamboat, just ask him a random question. You know what I mean? Just a whole bunch of other people too, you know what I mean? And DDP, just randomly text him. So, and it's just, it's great. It's absolutely fantastic to maintain and build friendships. Like I'm friends with Lance Archer's a friend of mine. You know what I mean? Like I'm super cool with Lance Archer. Ken Anderson is a friend of mine. You know what I mean? Like I've built friendships with these people, like with wrestlers I, was watching for a long time and just, top talent. A few top WWE wrestlers right now. I can just text them, I've built a friendship with them and they're like, hey, how's it going? Just check on me, just congratulate me and just have those conversations. And so it's surreal to actually have, as a journalist, build friendships and relationships with people. And it's great. I love what I do, man. I absolutely love everything that I do. I love it. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. I'm literally living the dream, y'all. Like it's such a blessing. I'm a doctor. And a day after I became a doctor, I became the coordinator of the psychology department of the brand new psychology department of my job. I'm a podcaster. I get paid good money to interview wrestlers every week. And I actually get paid good money to do a Raw review with my all-time favorite tag team wrestler, Animal. You know what I mean? Like, that's another person. Like, he'll just, like, even outside of the show I have every week, we'll talk, you know what I mean? Like, throughout the week. And so it's great. Like, I literally have a show with my all-time favorite tag team, a weekly show with my all-time favorite tag team member, Animal. And it's living the dream. Living the dream. Living the dream. Yeah. Living the dream. Would I get starstruck if I met The Rock? No, I would not. Yeah. Brian Cage, also super cool with Brian Cage. The funny thing is with Brian Cage, man, there's certain people who's just like super available all the time. And I'll just text them and they'll be available. As we saw that one time, Brian Cage was on the show a week before, and then I was trying to get a guest because of Steve Blackman, and I actually put the show on pause. I was calling and then called Brian Cage. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. And so he was driving, and as he was driving, that was funny. That was super funny. Yeah. Sweet. Why are you guys asking me to pass numbers along? Do you understand how terrible that would be as a journalist to pass numbers along? That would be horrible. You guys will absolutely not pay for my bills. I get paid to have good relationships and bring and interview wrestlers. Y'all guys, some of you are asking to pass numbers along. This isn't a telephone game. All right, so real quick, guys. AEW All Out. What grade would you give it? No, I've never traveled to Canada. I would love to. Technically, I have, because I went to Buffalo, New York, and I had a boat ride. My wife and I. We went to Buffalo, New York one year for either, I think it was our anniversary. We went to Buffalo, New York. And we had a boat ride in Buffalo, New York. And it actually went in the Canada waters. So technically, I have been to Canada. How about that? And I didn't need a passport. And so, yes, technically I've been to Canada. Thoughts on NFL season? I'm just ready to watch football, man. Derrick Henry's one of the highest paid running backs in the NFL right now. Big Titans fan, so we'll see. I just want to watch football. So, no, I've never been to Colorado. I would love to go though. All right, cool. All right, grades, AEW All Out, and then we're going to close up. AEW. All right, so who's going to be a last minute patron real quick? Who wants a shout out before the show's over? Patreon.com/Pancakes and Powerslams. Who's gonna, real quick? I think All Out was I gave it a 6 out of 10. So I guess I'll give it a curve, and it was probably a C+ to me. I think it was just okay. It looked like a glorified Dynamite. It was probably the worst. It was the worst AEW pay-per-view that I probably have. It wasn't terrible, but it was okay. It wasn't bad. It was just okay to me. All right, so who's gonna jump? Who's going to jump? Who's going to jump? Who's going to be a patron? Before I go, who wants the last minute shout out? Look, if y'all don't got $1 or $5.99 to put towards the show, I question how much you like it. Yeah, I question your support. Yeah. All right. Last minute patron. Who's going to join? Who's going to join? Who is it? Who is it? Oh, thanks, Quentin. I appreciate that, man. Very much. We have fun every week, man. Every week we just come here and have fun. This is the 441st show, Quentin. 8.5 years we have fun. Yes, I agree, Marissa. Please come back. All right. Who is it? You guys see it? Who is going to be a patron? Who's going to get that last minute shout out? All right, let's see. Let's see who's going to do it. Who's going to do it? I'm going to sit here and wait to see who is going to be the newest patron of the Pancakes and Powerslam show before we close up. Let's see who we got. Let's see who we got. No, I'm not doing any Ask Chris questions right now until I wait and see, because you guys want me to answer questions for you. You guys are sucking me dry. Yes, every Tuesday, Quentin. So here's the thing, Quentin. So this was a 2-hour show from 11 to 1. And so basically it's 11:35-ish to 1 now, because Sportskeeda, I'm a senior analyst at Sportskeeda. And so every week they actually bought the first fourth of my show, because I have weekly interviews. So now that's actually been over to Sportskeeda now. So I have a show called Unscripted, and that is where my interviews go now every week. And so 11:35-ish PMP starts. Chad, I give you Dusty if you become a patron. There you go. I'll close out with giving you Dusty Rhodes if you become a patron. If you support the show with if you do a $5.99. Check this out. Check this out, Chad. If you do a $5.99 super patron, I will give you 2 straight weeks of Dusty closures. You just got to remember. All right? You just got to remind me. So here we go. How do you watch Sportskeeda? Just go to Sportskeeda Wrestling. Sportskeeda Wrestling page. Sportskeeda Wrestling page. Facebook page. You can subscribe to them on Twitter, on YouTube as well. So, all right, PMP Nation. I'm not going to wait anymore. All right, so we're campaigning for one last patron before we go. We're getting a lot of comments of people being supportive and having fun. Put your money where your mouth is. Like I'm literally talking about $1 to $5.99 right now. So if you don't want to do that, I question your support of the show. And again, times are my schedule's getting super busy. So if I don't get her done as far as the patrons are concerned, I'm going to have to make some decisions here. All right. About to close up. And yes, I know that you are, Mo. You're probably one of the biggest supporters that's possibly that I've had. You've been a fantastic supporter, Mo. Fantastic. Appreciate you, man. That's why you get the good stuff. And that's why you get all the amenities. All right, y'all. So PNP Nation, I haven't got an alert yet. So I literally have all these people on the chat right now, and not one of you are going to be a patron and donate at least $1 or $5.99. Like, yikes. That would really make me reconsider some things. So I'm gonna hop off. I'm going to let you guys think about that. That not one of you, other than Ricky, of all the people who are on here right now, not one person has made the decision to donate at least $1 a month to the Pancakes and Powerslams show. So that'll get me thinking. All right. So that will give me a good a good amount of a good kind of gauge of where we're at right now. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna hop off. Got some thinking to do. You still got an opportunity to hit that Patreon. I'll give you a shout out on Twitter, but I gotta hop off. Have a good night.